You ever see a horse wearing blinders? Like they usually have them like walking around Central Park or like in cities that are running hansom cabs. At least I think that's what they're called. They put blinders on the horse because the horse is going to look everywhere and go like, maybe I'll go over there. Maybe I'll go over there. Maybe I'll go over there. You never see humans with blinders on them. You never see entrepreneurs with blinders on them. But we need them just as much as the horse does. Because especially as entrepreneurs who are like already high energy, high performance, they're looking at opportunities and like that's how we see the world. Like Neo in the Matrix, when he finally sees it and it's all numbers and green shit that's coming down him. Ultimately, that's how we see the world as entrepreneurs. We just see that in terms of opportunity. And that causes this super wide field of vision. And it puts us in this spot where we look around and there's so many opportunities that it's almost paralyzing. Like ultimately what happens is this, is that when possibilities are endless, the probability of results go to shit. Because really, that's too wide. Like if you give yourself that wide of a field, that wide of a berth, that many opportunities, that many options, your chances of results really aren't there. Because what happens when we try to do all those things? And you might have tried to do tons of things as an entrepreneur because you've got a naturally high capacity. We're never really all in on any one thing. And because we're not all in on one thing, the urgency of getting something done in that space and the importance of getting something done in that space drives down our results. Like it has just this inverse effect. We do more and we make less. But ultimately, what we need to do is flip that. Where we're doing less and we're making more. The question becomes, how? Ultimately, it's putting blinders on ourselves. I'm gonna ask you a question that I bet you is a really difficult thing to answer. You might start out going like, no problem, I got that. But really think about it and see what happens. What do you want? Like, what do you want? And when I ask that question, most people can tell me everything about what they don't want. Well, I don't want to make the same amount of money that I'm making. I don't want to have the same size company that I have. I don't want to do the same job that I've been doing for the last 8 years in a company that I own. I don't want my business to own me anymore. I want to own it. Those are all don'ts. But what do you want? It's a difficult question. It's a difficult question because your field of vision is so wide. You don't have blinders. You can get a lot of different stuff. It's possible. But once you nail that target down, then it becomes about shrinking the size of your field of vision around it. And you shrink your field of vision around it by understanding exactly what needs to be done and creating a plan to go get it and staying focused on that plan. Because in reality, most people spend more time planning their next vacation than they do planning their next fiscal quarter. They don't have this narrowed field of vision that says, this is what I'm accomplishing. This is exactly how I'm going to do it. This is my plan. This is what I'm doing this week, next week, the week after that, the week after that, the week after that, and the week after that, and so on. They try to figure it out as they go. And then what happens? They sit there and they go, the plan didn't work. I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try something different because the plan didn't work. Ultimately, they didn't work. You know that cliche, like, the plan doesn't work if you don't work the plan? Like, yeah, I get it. That makes sense. Because ultimately it's true, right? It sounds cheesy, but it's true. It's way more true than 98% of success is just showing up. Like, that one's bullshit. But the whole thing is that the plan doesn't work if you don't work the plan. That one's true. Because ultimately, you find that if you've got a solid plan and you are executing that thing, because you've got this narrow field of vision, if it's still not working, then you know the plan didn't work. But my bet is that if you execute and you actually take the time to plan, it's going to work. You just got to do the work first.